Downtown between Brush Street and I-375. That's where we're located in the heart of Detroit at Ford Field, which first opened back in 2002. Today we've got a Week 8 matchup on tap here between the Miami Dolphins and the Detroit Lions. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback.
Here we go, set.
They'll run here with Raheem Mostert. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 12 yards on the gain. A great start for this offense.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A first carry now for Chase Edmonds. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. Well, this defense for the Lions, they were very good in the win over Dallas a week ago.
This defense certainly has a lot to be proud of coming off of last week's game, because when you only give up 14 points in a contest, you give your team a great chance to win. The best defense in the league is usually going to average giving up 18, 19 points a game. So to be under that, a terrific achievement.
Tua getting it quickly out to Waddle. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. Couple of Alabama guys there. Tua to Waddle for the Miami first. That's probably as simple of a throw as he'll have all game.
And good for everyone. Good for his completion percentage. Good for the receptions for the receivers. But you know how they work on that. They have footballs with no laces. So that as soon as you get the snap, you're just throwing the football, all right? You're not trying to find the laces and grip it a certain way. That takes time. Just get the ball and throw it. So that's how they practice it all the time now, too.
They'll run on first down, Edmonds. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Michael Brocker's in on the stop.
Early down stuff to put this offense in precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
From midfield, here's Tua. He'll let this go for the end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. In today's NFL, we talk about quarterbacks and their speed and accuracy, but there's still something about a guy slinging one downfield.
And we knew that this offense was going to try and put pressure on the secondary. That was something they talked about with us. They knew that they had an advantage, pressed it, and there you go. Big play for a touchdown on their very first possession.
Yeah, and that throw, my goodness, and even 70 yards through the air. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Play fake. Mayfield. He's got this to Williams, complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Call that a very strong gain of 24. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. The Lions at 5-1 here in this early part of the season. They're in a real groove of late. Winners of 5 of their last 6.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
On 2nd and 10. Mayfield. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. The corner blitz gets there as he goes down for a loss of 7. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jerome Baker. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. When I saw the pressure coming at him, that just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw? And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now Tua. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. Plenty of shouts from this crowd as they watch the replay. They want a challenge, and they're going to get one.
There's no doubt in my mind that not many guys in this league have had the impact that he's had here in the first half of the season. He's been a big play guy from the word go and continues to be one with another one right there.
So the challenge there does not go their way. This one. Oh, Edmonds has it knocked loose. And this is scooped up by the Lions.
You remember in preseason we were going to the different training camps and visiting teams, and we always would see the running backs working out and going through those gauntlet drills, and guys either slapping at the ball or the machines. You got to learn to take care of it.
Yeah, they lost it there. Big fumble. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They'll take over deep in their own end after the fumble recovery as they start 1st and 10. And they'll get him down up past the 15. The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup.
First play of the drive, excellent run. Just sets up wash, rinse, repeat. Another 1st down.
Mayfield off the play fake. And it's out. He put it on the carpet. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. And they put it on the ground here on the 2nd drive. And, of course, Charles, that follows drive number 1 where they had the INT.
Makes you wonder what's going on with this team, because a lot of times we can attribute it to nerves, but maybe it's a lack of focus. Maybe it is the preparation for the game. Maybe they just came into a little lackadaisical, because that's just not looking good at all. That's just not the football that we came here to see.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line.
And a lot of times these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
Let's go.
From the 24, Tua. And this one is incomplete.
Well, you got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa. He is going to find Hill here. He's going to have the 1st down and then some. Touchdown. Tyreek Hill with career touchdown number 70. And the Dolphins lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that'll make the score 14-0.
14. Lions, nothing.
Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. From the end zone, here comes Williams.
The Lions take over first down 10 at their own 28-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. Tackled that time by Jerome Baker out of Ohio State. Second and 5 now. Mayfield. He's going to get that to Swift underneath. 2 yards on the pickup there. And it's 3rd and 4 now.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
This one swung out to Williams. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a first down.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline, from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
On 1st and 10, Mayfield. He'll get this off to Swift. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield. Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
He's got this complete to Williams. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins 35. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And that's out to the flat for Swift. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
From the red zone now, Mayfield. And it's caught. And he takes this one in for the Lions touchdown. T.J. Hockenson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Lions have got it back to within a score. Extra point by Seibert up and good. And that'll make our score 14-7. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. The offense running out, and they are charged up, ready to go after reaching the end zone on their last drive.
And normally I'd warn against getting complacent just because they scored the last time out. But I don't think there's any worries with this group right now. This is a hungry group, and they want to keep building off of their last drive. Now they just want the officials to hurry up and place the ball so they can snap it and get back to work.
Here we go.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now a run straight ahead with Edmonds. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
On 2nd and 9, Tua, and going deep for Hill. This is caught inside the 15. It's a big play there for Miami. 54 yards. And that looked almost to be a case of, a quarterback saying, hey, I'm going to throw this as far as I can and hope you run under it. Mission accomplished.
And we often talk about hang time for punts, but in this case, we should probably calculate the hang time on that throw because that one hung up there for a long time and managed to keep going and going until it found its target.
From the gun, it's Tua. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. It'll go as a loss on the play, not what you need down here. It's going to be 2nd and goal. Now a give to Edmonds, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
I think it might be time to move to a different section of the playbook there because back-to-back runs, both for loss. Now they have 3rd and long coming up.
They need to reverse the trend. The last 2 plays have gone backwards. Now it's 3rd and goal. Here's Tua. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. And just like he did, almost winning the Heisman in Michigan, rookie Aiden Hutchinson blows up the play. The kick by Sanders is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead. So that one on target, and it adds to this first half lead.
And maybe we're too early to worry too much about 1-score lead, 2-score lead, etc. But this is where you kind of start banking those points that come in helpful later on.
And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. For this offense, Charles, remember the last time they were out here, marched it nearly the full length of the football field, and a lot of the attack went through the air, so now they're seeing if they can duplicate that performance.
Okay, if I show my age a little bit, partner, because I can hear my high school.
And it's intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins will take over here at their own 12-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
On first down, they look downfield, and it's complete. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. Charles, you talk so much about quick change plays. There's one right there. You get the turnover, and boom, hit them with a big one.
And defenses plan for this all the time. They work on it in practice. But in the middle of a game, when that quick change takes place, oftentimes guys aren't as focused as they need to be.
On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Well, he's been the guy already over 100 yards here in the first half. Could have had a lot more if he would have been able to haul that one in.
In fact, our statistician Marvin was already handing me a piece of paper with that yardage total on it. He thought that catch was going to happen just as you and I did as well.
Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. He's going to float this over the middle deep and unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. And now a fair catch called for, and he'll indeed take it at about the 6-yard line. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And the Lions are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the
And Mayfield again with the interception, his 3rd. Brandon Jones picking it off, and he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown.
That was a nice catch, and not by the guy you thought it was going to be. How about the defender turning into an offensive player as soon as the ball hits his hands, and off he goes, off to the races, and into the end zone.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, we were having a tough patch. This too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Melvin Ingram dropping the hammer off the edge. This offense continues to shoot themselves in the foot. And here, another sack.
All game long, we've seen missed assignments, which have led to turnovers, sacks. This group has not played well at all here in the first half.
They go play action. Mayfield looking deep downfield. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. Well, CD, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. With 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half.
Well, on that one, they go with a play fake, CD, but I don't think anybody really was fooled. All eyes were fixated on the quarterback, and they got him to the ground.
And to run this play successfully, you've got to make sure that everyone is doing their part. You actually have to sell this play. You've got to sell the run action. Otherwise, why do you stop at the running back?
He's got a man complete. And all the way in from Miami touchdown.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there. Unable to do so, that makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the rout is on here in this first half. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Lions take over first down 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And with a 3-score deficit staring them in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive. And now here's another interception. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown.
Well, that's what you get, apparently, when you try to take on a Pro Bowl cornerback. I mean, what a play there to make the interception and also bring it back for 6.
And he is so good that we've seen teams absolutely stay away from throwing the ball at him. Here, he's just reading the quarterback's eyes the entire way, makes a great play on the football, and turns it into 6.
Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick.
From the end zone, here comes Williams.
Williams loses the football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Mayfield on play action.
And he's just throwing the ball up for grabs now. Fortunately, that one's going to fall incomplete. I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween, and you take what you...
And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Emmanuel Ogbah that time able to drop him for a loss. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the 2nd quarter.
Hey, alert 33.
Final play of the half, Mayfield. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Javon Holland. And the Dolphins are going to get the football back as time will run out in this 3rd quarter of play. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. It'll be Lions football to start the 2nd half, and they trail here as we get back underway on EA Sports. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the 2nd half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. Let's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
Play action now. Here's Mayfield. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
They'll try it now with Swift. And he is going to get the first down as he covers up after a pretty good shot there. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on fourth. He needed less than a foot. He didn't get a whole lot more than that, but he did get the first down.
Well, he and his offensive line created enough push where if he was able to just fall forward as he was able to there, that would pick up the first down. As you noted, didn't need a whole lot, didn't get much more than that.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's Mayfield. And now here is another interception. It's Chris Harris with a pick.
Well, I certainly think that we're seeing a big reason why this team is struggling to put points on the board so far, because too many of their drives have ended in turnovers already, and we still have almost a full half of football yet to play.
After the turnover, it's Tua. They're going deep for Hill. And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. It's a big play there for Miami. 46 yards.
They started this drive with terrific field position, and it's going to get even better after that play. Had great options with where they started.
And he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. The sneak successful from a yard out. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Lions take over first down 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Here's a throw. Swift is hit, and he coughs it up. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. There are two words that we hear coaches say all of the time. One starts with a B, one starts with an S, ball security.
And they preach it. They have it up in meeting rooms, right? You see the signs. They talk about it all the time. But still, when you've got defenders out there who are preaching, hey, we're going to take the ball away from you, no matter what.
He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. Jalen Waddle, 31 yards. And the Dolphins take the forced fumble and convert it into 6 points. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd-and-1 situation.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
They'll try and run here with Swift. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Once again, it's Swift. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36.
Jerome Baker crashing downhill and getting the stop.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. To throw, Mayfield. Out to the left there and complete to the tight end, Hawkinson. So it's a gain of 12 there on the reception. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard. They will run straight ahead with Swift. And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46. It's a pickup of 6.
Swift split carries down the middle with Jamal Williams in 2021, but he's one of Detroit's busiest players in the passing game. He caught 62 passes, 2nd on the team, and 4th among NFL running backs. His showing could convince the Lions to make him their RB1.
So no gain on the play. They'll decline the penalty to not give him the down back.
And were you thinking to yourself that maybe they would take the yardage there?
Yeah,
because
possibly.
I definitely was. But as you noted, maybe they're just looking at the downs chart and saying, okay, we're comfortable where we are.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
A loss of 3 on a sack made by multiple defenders.
That's number 4. Sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5. This offense so far on 3rd down, they're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is going to be 3rd and 13. That pass caught. It's Williams. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 32-yard line. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13.
Now, this is certainly one of the bigger losses that we are going to see for quite some time. And you have to think at this point where we're at in the 4th quarter with how wide this advantage is. For this offense, they're just trying to end things with a positive drive and then get the heck out of here.
Yeah, if this had been a concert, you would have heard plenty of sour notes in this one. But they certainly don't want to end it on one. They want to put together a few more throws like that and at least have a final drive to give them a little bit more hope as they move forward.
Yeah, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now. But as you mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before.
And in for the Lions, touchdown. T.J. Hawkinson, beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Lions get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. Extra point by Seibert, up and good as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would have, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now People continue to accelerate, but we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Now Tua just going to bat this forward on the end around.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41.
Well, I think the hope is, with a touch pass like that, maybe you catch the defense off guard, but they were all over that one.
And it is the kind of play that works better against certain defenses, and this clearly was the wrong one to run into. Really nice job getting him down behind the line of scrimmage.
For the Lions, an extra DB in the game now here on 3rd down. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. And he'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Give him 22 there on the 3rd down conversion. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Tua going to throw. And he completes it to Wilson.
And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line. There's absolutely been no stopping this offense today. They already have the big lead, obviously. Here in the 4th quarter, they could coast to the end, but right now they're not passing up any chances to put up some garbage time yardage.
And, partner, why would they? Because who knows the next time you'll be playing as well as you have today. When you're in that zone, you go ahead and take full advantage of it. You don't worry about your opponent. You just worry about what you're doing.
And again, it's Tagovailoa. Over the middle, complete. That's Wilson.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he get a good head.
And he fires one that's intercepted.
Picked off by Amani Oruwariye. And the Lions are going to take over at their own 11-yard line.
Their passing game has been spectacular this afternoon. Finally, a win for the defense.
You think maybe there was an adjustment there. Finally gained a measure of, I don't even know if you call it revenge, but got a play done against him, and that's been difficult for them all game long.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. The 11-yard line.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Eric Rowe. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
And you can sort of sense their dejection. That last pick 6 put the icing on the cake, so to speak, in what has been a rough go for them. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. It's 2nd down.
Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
Mayfield down. And now here is another interception.
picked up by Noah Igbenogany.
And he will bring it back. It's a pick six and a Dolphins touchdown.
Well, this one was already ugly, and now it's just kind of becoming a feast on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, partner, this is a unit that knows they've got this game in the bag with this huge lead, and it's going to drive their coaches crazy because they're telling them play it straight, do all the right things. But these guys are going to be freewheeling now. All of them are going to take chances, and that one pays off with an INT and a return for 6.
From the end zone, here comes Williams. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
At their own 19-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
And this will wind up a Lions first down as the tackle made just shy of the 30.
5-yard gain on the play. That's good for the Lions. First down.
On 1st and 10, it's Swift.
And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
On second down, puts it on the carpet, it's out. But I believe the Lion was there to recover it. Yes, they will indeed keep possession.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring positions. One guy doesn't get them home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance. And by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. And on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for the Dolphins,
they climb to 6-2 on the year as they close in on the midpoint of this 17-game schedule.